Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I do lots of different DIY projects. We talk about real estate topics as well as cool home improvement topics. So in this video, I want to talk about why I spent over $15,000 last week to upgrade my entire HVAC system. And in this video, let's talk about why it might make sense to upgrade your system and why I had to upgrade mine. So I'm going to walk you around the house and explain exactly what went wrong and why I needed to make this major upgrade. All right, so I'll do a little bit of a walking tour here, and I wanted to start with something educational on basically what is an HVAC system and why you might want to upgrade it, and I'll tell you exactly why I had to upgrade mine. But the HVAC system is essentially like the circulatory system of the body. It carries airflow through the house and then back to the unit, kind of like the heart. It would be a good analogy. So you want to make sure that the veins and arteries are the right size to carry the blood, and you have a big enough heart to pump through the right size of your body. So in my situation, I had a nice unit on the roof. It was a Lennox. It made it to about 11 and a half years. And last Friday it bit the dust, unfortunately. Came back home, it was blowing hot air, and I shed a tear because that is kind of the kiss of death. So the repair cost was not gonna be worth it. So I said, hey, I'm just gonna upgrade because of the following reasons. One, the room that I'm standing in right now is actually an addition, as well as a bedroom that's over here. And that addition took place about 10 years ago. And unfortunately, afterwards, they never right-sized the HVAC unit. So I have a 3-ton on the roof. And if you do some research online, you'll see that the 3-ton, I believe, only goes up to about 1,200 or 1,300 square feet in terms of coverage. So this is over a 1,700 square foot house. So it wasn't big enough, basically. So that was one issue. And then secondly, the ductwork was slightly too small. There wasn't enough to provide that proper airflow through the system. So I just pulled the trigger and said, hey, time to upgrade. So I'll walk you through exactly what I did. So when we're talking about upgrading an HVAC system, it's kind of like a system in the human body. There's a lot of different components working in unison. You have things like supply vents and return vents and insulation and, again, duct work, and you might have an indoor air handler and an outdoor condenser, and all these things have to kind of be working together to cool down your house or heat it up, in a cold winter. So for example, I'll take you back into this far bedroom, and I'm walking right below, you can see the supply there, I'm walking right below the main duct, kind of the main artery through the house. And in this bedroom, it would always be super hot in the summer because this supply is so far away from the unit on the roof, way down on the other side of the house. And you really couldn't even sleep here in the summer because it was too hot. So I had to make a change because in the future, I want this to be a rental house, and I can't have one bedroom be 5 degrees hotter or more than other parts of the house. So had to get that fixed. So I want to show you how the house used to look. It was literally walled off right here and then to here. So this dining area and then the bedroom were an addition, again, about 10 years ago, and there's just not enough airflow coming from that roof unit that's over here to push cold air into these areas. So again, this bedroom was kind of unlivable. It was too hot. It was literally 5 degrees hotter than the rest of the house. So we had to make the big upgrade. So I want to show you one of the big changes that was made done by the HVAC crew. And again, I didn't do this myself. It would be very tough for a DIYer to upgrade their entire system and lift a massive HVAC system onto the roof by myself. They had to bust out a crane. So take the filter off here. So this is all new duct work, and they cut out this area. It used to be 16 inches, now it's an 18-inch return. So that extra couple inches is critical for really good airflow. So that was a big upgrade. Now here's the other thing that was done. Deeper into the house, right here, we added another return. And what's cool about that, you can literally sit in this chair and feel hot air being sucked and then taken back to the unit. So we've literally doubled the airflow in this house now, because if you take a look at it, kind of split the house in two, for example, you have half of the house, you know, this area, the family room, and then this bedroom able to be cooled off by a return here. And then we have all the other 3 bedrooms over here. There's a 2 guests and then the master on that side of the wall that can be cooled by that return that I just shared, the master return. So now I've literally doubled the airflow and all new ductwork up above the ceiling here to take back to the unit. So when you see these supplies, I can literally feel the air coming from over here because it's so much more powerful, because it's like drinking a soda with 2 big straws. You just have double the volume coming in, so it's really cool to see. Now I want to go outside, take a look at the new unit on the roof, because this thing is a behemoth. It's got to be 30% bigger than my old unit, my 3-ton. Again, this is a 4-ton 2-stage unit, and this thing is massive. And I bought a extended warranty so that it could last for hopefully 15 years if I take good care of it, which I hope to. So round in the corner here, and here it is. Look at that beauty. Here's something really cool about this upgrade. It came with a brand new thermostat as well. So I just cranked it down, and what is really unique about these new systems is that they come in multiple stages as well. And they have units that do more than 2 stages, but those are quite expensive. So the 2 stages are becoming more popular versus the 1 stage where it's just a gush of air and then shuts off, a gush of air and shuts off. So a 2-stage, stage 1, if you can see right there, both of them are running right now because I just cranked it down a couple of degrees. But the preliminary stage will kick on to 60% of power and then 100% of power. So those really hot days, it'll crank up to 100. But if it's not necessarily needed, it'll help in reducing the electric bill and also the wear and tear on the machine. So I think that's a super cool feature. And shout out to the guys at Donnelly. If you're in the Phoenix area, these guys did a great job for me, very professional, and have used them a number of times for HVAC and plumbing. So, you know, really excited with this upgrade. I'm just gonna stand right here behind the air vent and just let it waterfall over me. It feels really nice. So, but let's talk about why, again, you would wanna upgrade your HVAC system. So the main thing, it probably is just common sense. If you feel uncomfortable in your house, if there's certain hot spots or cold spots, if it's drafty, you know, you're just not getting the airflow that you need. And that was my situation. And I bought this house 3 years ago, and I didn't really think about the unit being too small for the square footage. And it's more of a consideration if you live in really hot states, because you want to more closely match the power of your unit to the size of your house. You can probably get away with smaller units in less hot areas, but in Arizona, it is literally a life and death matter for you to have working air conditioning and one that you're not going to burn out because you're running it like I was, you know, consistently for a house that's too big for it. It's the example that the HVAC guy used was like drinking a smoothie through a martini straw. It's just not going to work. It's too much effort for the machine, and it's going to break prematurely, and you're going to be spending a ton on these major repairs, or like me, you know, having to invest in a massive system. So something to keep in mind. And beyond just comfort for yourself and getting the system set up correctly, if you have seen a couple of my recent videos regarding making a house a rental, it's a system that you want to tenant proof, because if it carries a $15,000 price tag, you're gonna wanna make sure that it is gonna be able to take the wear and tear of tenants. So if I rent this house and I have tenants that wanna keep the house at 72 degrees year round when it's 120 degrees out, that's gonna be tough. So I at least have a little bit more confidence now that we have the right airflow going through the house, the right return setup, the right supplies in every room. We have a powerful unit that's multiple stages that can help in protecting itself as well as conserving energy. So that's something that I looked for specifically, because that's really important, because I can't have a tenant abusing my HVAC system and costing me, tens of thousands of dollars in the long term because they don't know how to keep the temperature at an appropriate level given the outside temperature. So something else to keep in mind if you are looking to turn your house into a rental, you got to make sure that the central air setup is correct. So here's my last recommendation, and it's really just to get someone to come out to your house, an HVAC company. And the titles of these guys are kind of funny. They're called comfort specialists, and really they're just salespeople, but they used to be techs. That were boots on the ground working on the systems and things like that, and now they basically sell the upgrades. And so they know how to speak the language, they know what you should be doing, they know how your system should be operating and what system should be doing to match your square footage and how your duct work should be set up and all that stuff. So have someone come out. Maybe it's been a while since you bought your house and the home inspector didn't really touch on it originally. It's worth a refresh, to get a sense of how much life you still have left in your HVAC unit, and if there's any improvements that it could be made, especially like we just talked about, if you want to rent your property like I do, and you don't want to have to worry about it going out on a tenant because they're abusing it. So lots of different considerations, but just call out an expert and see what they have to say, because again, it's a major system. Again, I spent $15,000. It's a major system, one of the most expensive in your house that is already a multi-$100,000 investment. So it's worth keeping eyeballs on. And I definitely know that going forward now. And so my recommendation is just to make sure that you have someone come out and check it and make sure that you don't get hit with a surprise bill like I did last week. So you have a better understanding of how your entire HVAC system works. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you're able to give me a like, I really appreciate it. And until the next home improvement video, I'll see you later.